This is day 224 of New Zealand's biggest gap year, an epic challenge that my partner Laura and I decided to tackle a few years back, where we had to do 365 activities all around New Zealand in 365 days. And today we're going to one of the weirdest islands there is in New Zealand for sure. It's called Quail Island. It's nearby Christchurch. Alright, join me at the end of the video when I'm going to go over all the questions and comments you guys had the first time we published it.
So today we are going to the most unusual and weird island I think there is in New Zealand.
Before we get started with Quail Island, let me catch you up on everything else that's happened today. First, it was Laura's birthday, so I did hide a present into a puzzle box that took her over an hour to open. It was hilarious. Then we made our way to Christchurch to shop for a brand new camper van. We decided to downgrade, so we went with something much smaller, which is an 8-seater car. Once we decided on it, we thoroughly checked it and decided to purchase it. And with that, we made our way to Quail Island before making our way back to the little town of Akaroa.
First things first, we need to transfer all the stuff from the camper van into this car, and we are downsizing quite a bit. Have a look.
As Laura said, it was a bit of a Tetris game to fit everything that was on our gigantic 3.5-ton camper van into this very small car. But we succeeded to fit everything and made our way back toward Akaroa, where we are now staying in a farm. We took the time to help a little bit our host with some of the farm chores just to say thank you for hosting us. Then we head to the restaurant for Laura's birthday. Obviously, nothing comes easy, so I went for some tricky candles which were lighting themselves back up every single time, but the really yummy chocolate cake made up for my cheekiness. But now let's talk about Quail Island. And yeah, this is where we're trying to find our boats to go to Quail Island, because this is where we're going today.
We're joining Black Cat Cruises for a quick ferry trip from the Lyttelton Harbour in Christchurch over to Quail Island, an island that is famous for originally being used as a quarantine station as well as a leprosy colony. Indeed, it is as weird as it sounds, and it only takes 10 to 15 minutes on the ferry to get over to Quail Island, where we arrive at the jetty and we are ready to start exploring on the many hiking tracks around the island. Although it is Canterbury's largest island, it can be explored in a whole day. The first attraction that we're checking out is some old farming remains from the Ward brothers, who settled here to farm for about 2 months before they tragically died at sea. And this is the first story that we find out about on Quail Island that makes us think that this island is cursed.
Basically, the story goes that pretty much anyone that has anything to do with this whole island died tragically really soon after landing on the island. So I don't really know why we're here. But as soon as we start seeing the myriad of native birds surrounding us, we are reminded of why Quail Island is so much worth visiting. There is a ton of wildlife right here and almost no one comes here. So it's super easy to access and they are not scared of us. It's awesome. Like many New Zealand islands, pest trapping is much more effective right here because it's such an isolated area. So getting rid of pests is so much easier than on the mainland, and it makes for thriving native bird wildlife.
However, the bird that the island is named after, Quail Island, refers to the native quail of New Zealand, which is unfortunately extinct now.
It's the curse!
Nevertheless, there's a lot of wildlife viewing opportunities on Quail Island today. Among all the fantails, wood pigeons and the Californian quails that we've seen, there's all these swallows which are flying back and forth across the walking tracks. After getting lots of entertainment from the birds, we are continuing on this walk around Quail Island. Quail Island has a vast network of walking tracks, but we're not really following any particular track. We're just seeing where our feet take us. And the next place they do take us is this human quarantine area, where finding a trapdoor on the floor gets our imagination running.
Are you okay? That is creepy as. I really don't know why we're trying to open this creepy quarantine bunker. Let's leave it alone and move on to the leper's house.
We are in a replica of a leper's cottage. I never thought I would be stood in one of these. I never really thought these existed. So be fair, it's not a bad place to be a leper. I mean, leper or not, I don't mind Quail Island.
While Laura is dreaming of the idyllic time of being a leper on Quail Island, she's quickly reminded of the harsh reality of the real life of a leper at the cemetery. But we're gonna leave that for another day and move on to our lunch break. We are finding ourselves an awesome secluded beach where we're gonna be able to relax and take a bit of a nap just to pass some time before heading to the rest of our little track. The rest of the track is going to take us alongside the beautiful waters of the Littleton Harbour. We are making our way between the cliff and the water as far as the quarantine immigration barracks. Those are massive houses that were built right here to hold the people during the immigration process. And the last one remaining has been turned into a museum with heaps of information on both the island, its wildlife, its human history, and also the creepy stuff about all the quarantine stuff that has happened here. Everything here is all creepy. I like it.
To wrap up our time in Quail Island, we're taking a pleasant stroll along the beaches, thoughtfully named Skiers Beach and Swimmers Beach. If you're not into all the history here, then at least there's some really nice swimming beaches here. The water's warm, it's shallow, and the beaches themselves are absolutely stunning. It's a short walk along the coastline and then through some exotic pine forest, looping back to the jetty where we started our trip on Quail Island. There are a couple of more features on this island that you can explore if you have the time, which are some shipwrecks, unsurprisingly, since everyone dies on this island. While waiting for the ferry to arrive, we reflect on how awesome this visit to Quail Island has been. In between the fascinating history, the vibrant wildlife, and the stunning scenery, it's really amazing that this is so accessible from Christchurch city centre. For us now, we're heading back to Akaroa, where we're going to be transferring our stuff from the camper van to the car and then enjoying an awesome birthday dinner, which you saw at the beginning of this episode.
Alright, so today we are going to Leopard Island. Yeah. Okay. Alright guys, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. Obviously a lot of comments were surrounding the fact that Laura had a birthday, so everybody's wishing Laura happy birthday, which is really nice of all of you, so thank you very much. Scotia's Place, Chris, Natalia. Chris also says that he went there as a child with his grandparent, and grandfather told me that as a boy in Allendale he could hear the lepers singing at night. So they can't have been so unhappy in there when it was a quarantine facilities. I still feel that is such a weird place to visit. It was just so weird. I enjoyed it, but it's such a, I mean, out of all the islands around New Zealand, I think this is such a weird choice. I absolutely love it. Family Travel Vlog said, I never heard of Quail Island. How did you set up your new van? So first up, Quail Island. Yeah, we do love to uncover really weird and different things. And that's why we started NZPocketGuide.com, which is now New Zealand's largest travel guide. And it's all 100% free for you to check out. And honestly, we love to show like so many different things that people never thought or heard of in New Zealand. Now, how did we set up the new van? Honestly, we flattened all the seats at the back and we just put all the boxes there, and we're mostly going to be staying in hostel from now on. That's basically how we decided to set it up. Luckily, we already had a really well thought out packing system. When we were in the camper van, everything was in boxes, so we could move an entire box and open that. And so we literally just transfer those boxes to the back of the van, and that's basically how it worked out for us. And we also had Sibuna Dan that says, I'm going here camping, which is pretty cool. I actually, me personally, did not know that you could camp over there when we went there over there. After that, when doing research and everything, I learned that it was a campsite. So that's a really cool thing that you can be doing. Also weird. Did I say how weird it is? Anyway, to wrap that up, check out nzpocketguide.com. Join us for one of the NZ Travel Show, which is a live session when you can ask all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. Hit like and subscribe, and consider supporting us on Patreon. That's all the boxes I need to check. I think so. Here you go. We're done. Bye-bye, guys.